want to have a deep conversation with you guys today. Real deep. Freedom isn't free. Freedom isn't free. Conversation we're talking about today is not political in any way, shape, or form. Okay? I just like what the shirts say. And that's what we're going to talk about, but it has nothing to do with America. It has nothing to do with veterans or anything else of that nature. It has nothing to do with what's going on. We're going to look at something totally different. But yet understand, remember, freedom isn't free. And that's what we're going to be talking about. Been wanting to make this video for a while. I just didn't know how to say it, what to say. But I knew that I needed to make this video. And this is like the fourth time that I'm having to record this video. For whatever reason, my phone has kept shutting off on me. Something doesn't want this video to come out. Last night I was talking to my sister Kathy. And we hadn't talked in a while, a long while. And we were on the phone for hours, just laughing and talking and just going down memory lane. Kathy's actually my cousin, first cousin. But I call her my sister, and I'm her brother. My two sisters and I were awarded to her mom from the court as wards of the court when I was 2 years old. And so Kathy and I were raised together. And so that's always been my sister. She's always been my road dog. There were 5 of us kids together. Kathy and I weren't brothers and sisters, but we were brothers and sisters. We were always the closest out of all 5. And I never liked my oldest sister, and I've always gotten into it with my youngest sister. Couldn't stand them, still don't talk to them today. But Kathy and I have never, ever had beef. We've never gotten into it. And we were just talking about that last night and just laughing and just getting caught up. Freedom isn't free. There's a scripture that says, and I'm not a religious person, but I believe that the scripture has been twisted for certain reasons. And the scripture says, what does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? I'm saying again, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? What does that got to do with freedom? And freedom isn't free. What does that got to do with Kathy? Kathy's in North Carolina making moves to be able to leave a legacy behind for her kids. I'm in California doing the exact same thing. Freedom isn't free. In order for us to get to that mindset of what we wanted to establish for our heirs, for our kids, our grandkids, and all those coming after us, we had to break through a lot of chaos, a lot of ignorant thinking that was ingrained into us. Freedom isn't free. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? Many in religion believe and preach and teach that scripture that Jesus is quoted as saying is talking about what benefit, what good is it to amass all of this financial wealth, to get all this stuff and die and go to hell. I want to give you a totally different perspective on what I believe Jesus was actually saying when he said, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? And it ties into freedom isn't free. This is going to be heavy. The great majority of us do not know who we are. Freedom isn't free. Say it again. The great majority of humanity does not know who they are. You're not your flesh. You're not your ethnicity. You're not your gender. You're not your race, your nationality. You're not your namesake. That's not who you are. At all. Freedom isn't free. In the Brahmin religion, Brahmin gathered all the gods one day, and he told them, "Listen, we have to do something. We have to hide. We have to find a place where we can hide this deep wisdom of who man is from man. I want you to help me find a place to where we can hide this wisdom, this knowledge, this understanding." And all the lesser gods sat there and they thought, One said, "Let's put it in the furthest realms of space." And they're like, "Yeah, man can't get to space." And they thought and thought, and Brahman came back and said, man in this mind, he'll figure out a way to get into space. And he'll find it. They're like, yeah, you're right. Somebody else said, "Hey, let's put it in the deepest realms of the oceans. Man can't go underwater." They thought, yeah, great idea. Brahman came back, yeah, but man, in his quest for knowledge, will find a way to go into the deepest seas and the deepest oceans. And there they will find it. They're like, yeah. Brahman said, "I know what I'll do. I'll hide the information of who man is within man. I'll hide who man is inside of man. Because the man will always be seeking externally for who he is, and he'll never go inwardly. He'll search the skies, he'll search the waters, he'll search the grounds, he'll search everywhere to understand who he is, but he'll never go inward." Freedom isn't free. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? What does it profit you to gain all this knowledge, all this understanding, to be so woke, to be so enlightened about the Illuminati and all this other stupid crap, and not know who you are? You ask anybody who they are, and they'll tell you who they believe they are. But they'll say it as though they know who they are. They'll say that they are their experiences. They'll say they are their mind. They'll say that they're all these different things. And that's not who they are. That's not who you are. You are a soul that has experienced all of these different things. But those things don't make you who you are. You are your soul. But we don't see ourselves as our soul. We don't even understand our soul or what our soul is. That's too mystical. That's too spiritual. And the great majority of us assume we are who we think we are because of our ego and because of our mind. You are not your mind. Your mind, your ego, don't want you to discover who you are. Because see, when you discover who you are, as far as your soul, your ego is no longer in control. Your ego is only in control now of how you think, how you live, how you process information, how you give out information. Your ego is in control of all of that because you don't know who you are. And once you learn who you are, your ego is no longer in control. And you know how you don't know who you are? When you get angry. The fact that you still get angry over petty, stupid stuff. The fact that you're still hurt and in pain and suffering from past experiences. The fact that you have self-doubt or you hate yourself or you don't like yourself. What's going on with this? It's because you don't know who you are. When you know who you are, nothing else matters in that capacity. When you know who you are, your whole life changes. Your whole perspective on life completely, drastically changes. You see everything totally different. Totally different. When you know who you are. This is one of the problems with our society. Our society believes that they're woke because they think they have an idea what's going on politically, because they think they have an idea what's going on with the powers to be, as far as the Illuminati and the Cabal and all these other different groups that they think is running the world. They think that's being woke. That's not being woke. That's being distracted. That's ignorant. That's ignorant. If you think you're woke because you're aware of all this stuff, you're aware of these powerful groups, you're aware of, quote unquote, what you believe their agenda is as far as humanity, if you think that's what being woke is about, you're still asleep. You're still asleep. You're still caught up in the matrix. That's just another distraction to get you to go down another rabbit hole. You are woke when you know who you are. And when you know who you are, you don't get caught up in petty arguments. When you know who you are, you don't have self-doubt. You don't have self-hatred. When you know who you are, you don't allow other people's issues to become your issue. When you know who you are, you don't get mad at other people and you don't have fault and oughts with other people. You're not judgmental. You're not self-righteous. When you know who you are, you manifest love in everything you do. Because that's who you are. That's who you are. My hope and prayer is that you understand and learn who you are.